Our next honorable mention on the Locked On Senators NHL Draft ranking is Nick Lardis from the Hamilton Bulldogs. Traded there mid-season from Peterborough and Pilsy. He exploded from there.
Yeah, not exactly a great start to the season for Nick Lardis with the Peterborough Petes, but after a move to the Hamilton Bulldogs, he showed everyone what he can do, and it was a game changer for him, Ross. I mean, if you just look at the splits from last season for Nick Lardis, you look at the Peterborough Petes in 36 games, 12 goals, 7 assists for 19 points. Okay, not bad, but not really that great either. Moved to Hamilton, 33 games, 25 goals, 21 assists for 46 points. Clearly, that was a guy that needed a change of scenery.
It certainly was the case. We'll explain more about the trade, but to kind of build off of that, the bottom line of this card I pulled up on YouTube, 56 points in 39 games, Pilsy. That's because he had 10 points in 6 playoff games, really just kept that pace rolling through the postseason. In the regular season, though, put those two together, 65 points in 69 games, including 37 goals. And the rankings are all over the place. From early second round to early third round, we've got elite prospects, the highest on him at 33. Scott Wheeler has him at 38. HockeyProspect.com has him at 47. We've got Craig Button at 65. Chris Peters at 78. And Corey Pronman way low on him at 94 overall. Nick Lardis is a 5'11" winger, shoots left, but man, a lot of those highlight reels, some on the power play, have him on that one-timer side. He's listed at 165 pounds. Pilsy, he's an honorable mention for us because, well, he fits in the range just after 50 on the average rank, but also because new Senators owner Michael Andlauer owns the team that acquired him, the Hamilton Bulldogs. So Andlauer had an up-close and personal viewing of an absolute goal-scoring machine.
Well, Ross, what do you mean? The Ottawa Senators never draft players that they're familiar with or that have relationships with other players or people in the franchise. So I'm not really sure what you're getting at there or what the connection is, but I'll play along. So you mentioned that Nick Lardis has a great power play on, or a great one-timer on the power play. It's not like he only relies on a one-timer, though. EP was talking about how they love all his shot types. That includes slap shot, snapshot, one-timer we talked about, the wrister, the backhand. And when you have that many tools in your tool bag, it makes it so difficult for defenders and particularly goalies, Ross, as goalies we know, when you don't know what to expect from a guy and what shot he's able to use, it's really hard to get a read and to decide how to position yourself to stop him. And not many goalies were stopping Nick Lardis in his Hamilton Bulldog days.
No, they weren't. And a big reason why he's able to open up lanes for his shot is his skating. That to me is the number one attribute. He flies out there. He's able to find quiet spaces by being just faster acceleration, better agility than most every player, which speaks to the fact. And if you've been following along with our rankings, more than 70 videos here now on YouTube by the end of it as we lead up to the NHL draft. So whether you're watching this after your team just took Nick Lardis or in the lead up preparing for the big day, you know that elite prospects focus so heavily on how the skating stride looks. And to have him at 33 higher than anywhere else, it kind of speaks to that. But hockeyprospect.com is right on the same page. They say the name of the game for Lardis is his ability to skate. They call him one of the best pure skaters in the draft, the ability to hit his top speed in 3 strides, effortless, agile, and that makes him a dangerous player off the rush.
Yeah, I think he's definitely dangerous off the rush, but I think he's pretty good in the O-zone as well, even once things have kind of settled in and you're stuck in that zone play. It's just when you have a shot like that, you're going to have success. And Scott Wheeler applauds his motor and drive to get to the net. So he's one of those guys, he's like, I'm putting the puck on net and then I'm chasing after it. I'm making sure I get any rebound or create opportunities for my teammates to get rebounds as well. And like, Ross, you talk about a player that has a good shot, good skating, and a high motor. I mean, those are 3 important pieces to a recipe for success for a young prospect.
Yeah, and there's a big reason why he's getting the waves he is as a late riser in this draft process. A guy who I don't want to say was forgotten with the slow start in Peterborough, but that was a team that had championship aspirations. They won the OHL this year. They went to the Memorial Cup. And with that, they had to make some additions along the way. And they felt like Nick Lardis was worth a run this year because Nick Lardis and Elite Prospects is so sure about this. They put their first line. They said, save this and use it against us if it doesn't work. He's going to score 50 goals next year in Brantford while the new building's being constructed in Hamilton. So the team's moving. So if we say Brantford going forward, it's still the Hamilton Bulldogs, but he played for Hamilton last year. So that's where we're going to go, how he went last season. So you look at Nick Lardis, 27th in the OHL in shots on goal last year. And I'd say a little higher than that in goals, right? Yeah, it's 27th in shots, 17th in goals. So the shooting percentage was good. He was able to make his teammates better. And it almost felt like opportunity bred success here, right? In Peterborough, there were guys who were older, more veteran, more stable, and guys who had made that push last year for them as well. And now it just felt like it opened up so much for him being able to make that trade. And one thing I love about one thing I watched on Nick Lardis was a game tape with Tony. He works with the Hockey News now, been on the show a bunch, Tony Ferrari. And he said, who do you model your game after? Initially, as kids are growing up, we hear a lot of Patrick Kane. And it's been that way. Just look at the way Matthew Tkachuk wears his mouth guard. That's because of Patrick Kane. Things like that. It's kind of a generational player. But then he said as he got older and felt, hey, maybe I have a shot to make the NHL, he started watching Jesper Bratt and Tim Stützle. Timmy Superstar, for a kid who's an admitted Leafs fan, is tuned in to Tim Stützle. The way that he works with the puck, the way that they create scoring chances for themselves is what he said attracted him to their games. Now, Nick Lardis isn't going to play the middle of the ice like Tim Stützle, but I think Jesper Bratt is a great comparison. Jesper Bratt even a little more undersized than Nick Lardis, but that's the style of game Lardis is playing. He's not going to be your heavy hitter on a forecheck. He's going to be the guy who comes in while there's a scrum in the corner, pull the puck out, make a quick move, and boom, it's in the back of the net. I found his IQ really impressive as well, Pilsy. How many of them, of those goals you saw this year, is he just kind of sneaking in the back door and just finding that quiet ice?
Yeah, that's what he's able to do. And I think a trade to Hamilton kind of put that chip on his shoulder a little bit and lit a fire up under him.
Well, he did pretty well in his games against his former team. I don't know.
Oh, did he?
I don't know if you saw that, but since the trade, yeah, he had a goal and an assist in his return to Peterborough.
Nice.
Then had 2 goals and an assist at home, both in wins against his old team.
There you go. You love to see that. And speaking of the goals, Ross, and you mentioned how he likes Jesper Bratt and Timmy Stützle because of the way they're able to create offense for themselves. Well, Nick Lardis is able to do that as well. And if you look at the advanced analytics from the games that EP tracked, his expected goals per 60 and his shots per 60 are through the roof. It's like a bar graph that goes left to right. It almost runs out of space on the right-hand side in the blue area because that's how off the charts are, I guess, almost off the charts it is. So this is a kid that, look, the talent is here for sure. I really see this guy as being a second rounder, Ross.
I hope so. And the playoffs were great for him. Unfortunately, his team lost in 7 games to the Barrie Colts, and their playoffs started awful. They lost 10-2 in game 1 to the Barrie Colts, but they were able to battle back, and he had at least a point in every game. Pilsy, they're down 2-0 in the series. They're coming home. You need that game, right?
Yeah.
Nick Lardis had 10 shots on goal and 2 assists.
Wow.
They get the win 6-3. Okay, well, you've done it once. Can you tie the series? Why not? They win 5-3. He's got 2 goals, an assist, and 5 more shots on goal. He actually, in the last 4 playoff games, he had 20 shots total.
Yeah, he's putting the puck on net.
10, 5, 5, 5. This guy, yeah, he puts pucks on net. No points in the last 3 games, I should mention as well. But this is a guy who I think is only going to get better. And I agree with Elite Prospects. He's going to score 50 next year and make whichever team takes him. If it is in the second round, they're going to make themselves look pretty smart.
Yeah, I think so. I think a second round pick is a great range for him.
And if the Senators trade up, he would be a guy who I would love to see welcomed in the organization. But if your team just drafted Nick Lardis, congratulations. You've got a good one. A one that you should be patient with, though. I think another year in the OHL, maybe even 2.
Yep.
And then take the slow and steady approach. He's going to get stronger. He's going to fill out that frame. And he's going to be a heck of a player in the National Hockey League. For more Locked On Senators, head over to the YouTube page or wherever you download your podcast. We're a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.